Welcome to Sales 101. Sam Wakefield here. This is the first of a four-part series that is getting back to the basics. I've realized across the last several years that a lot of the concepts and the things we talk about here on this podcast are intermediate or more advanced concepts and ideas. And so I wanted to break it down and get back to the basics because for several reasons. One, I know there's a lot of beginners and a lot of you who want to get better but really just don't know where to start. The second is if you're intermediate or advanced, there is always an opportunity to get back to the fundamentals to make sure things are going the way that the way they need to. And so I'm reminded of quick story. Reminded of one of the most winningest coaches in football, Vince Lombardi. So the story is in 1961. He delivered this line at the beginning of training camp a year after his team lost the championship game. So he held up a football and he made this statement of, "Gentlemen, this is a football." And the point was get back to the fundamentals. And so he started that absolute practice with relearning how to block, how to tackle, et cetera, all the things. And what happened after that is he led the Packers to win the NFL championship that year with a 37-0 victory. In fact, they went on to win 5 of the next 7 years of the championships. And so, it's just such a powerful reminder that you can never lose when you focus on making sure that your fundamentals are solid. So that's what we are going to do in this 4-part series. I'm going to break it down very simple and to get a starting launching pad for every single one of you if you want to get started and also if you want to review those fundamentals. So there's going to be some gold nuggets in here for all of you. Before we get to that, I'd like to read a quick review. We've got a new review that came in. And so for all of you that are listening, if you've gotten some value or you get value from this podcast, I would love if you left me a review, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can go to Google and leave me a review on Google. Just search Close It Now on Google. And Spotify has a place to leave comments and reviews now as well. So this one is 5 stars. The title is Game Changing for HVAC and Service. It cut off the whole title. So let's see what this is from Mac Pro Certified. So whoever you are, Mac Pro Certified, this is your review. It says this podcast delivers real actionable sales training, no fluff, just proven techniques that helped me close more deals with confidence. So thank you for that review, Mac Pro Certified. If I read your review, so Mac Pro Certified, whoever you are, message me. And if this is your review and you heard me read this on the podcast, message me. And because you have just earned yourself a 1-hour coaching session, which I probably won't be able to do these forever, but y'all capitalize on them while you can. I've never had a coaching session that didn't turn into some huge aha moments of gold nuggets for everybody that we do this, that they weren't able to go out and take that what we covered and improve their numbers. So if you would like your own 1-hour coaching session with me, and then leave me a 5-star review, and if I read it on the show and you hear it, message me and you can earn that spot as well. So let's get into this episode because I'm really excited about this beginner series that I'm working on. And yes, this is going to turn into its own course at some point as well. So this is episode 1, the first step: create clarity and a shared plan. So beginner sales foundation series. So what happens with most salespeople, most technicians, most comfort advisors, whatever industry you're in, when you walk into a home and you jump straight into the problem or the equipment, or even worse, trying to impress the homeowner with what you know. This is one of we feel like we have to earn the right at the table, especially as beginners. So what that means is we so many times overtalk and overshare and overexplain and all of these things, which you don't need to do. So, but before you talk about anything, systems, airflow, pricing, comfort issues, whatever issues that you're having in your industry, there's one step that always comes first. First is you have to create clarity and a shared plan for how the conversation's going to go. Because here's the truth, and I'm going to say this line over and over and over because I want this to become a mantra that you live by. And I don't care what level you are. Remember this, and this will always bring you back to center and help guide the conversation. So here it is. My job is to understand the human first, the problem second, and the solution last. Most of the time, we get those out of order and usually leave the human piece off of it. Usually, we're focused on the problem and the solution, and that's it. And usually out of the order there. So, my job is to understand the human first, the problem second, and the solution last. And you cannot understand the human until there's clarity, there's comfort, and agreement on how you're going to move through the appointment together. So today what we're going to do, we're breaking down the first steps of Sales 101. Start the appointment by creating a shared plan. And so I'm going to cover why it's important. I'm going to walk you through some things here. So everything you learn in the series is going to build on this very first principle. Because when people know what to expect, their guard comes down. Homeowners hate question marks. They hate mystery. They hate any unanswered questions. Surprises. Homeowners hate surprises. So when you have a plan and you talk through a plan with them, it brings just this level of comfort, right? It's like the guard comes down and now they start to feel more comfortable with you. So when people know what to expect, their guard comes down. When they understand the path, they relax into it. When there is a shared plan, the conversation becomes co-created, not one-sided. This isn't advanced psychology, it's basic human nature. So before discovery, before presenting options, before talking numbers, you've got to start with clarity and permission. So why a shared plan matters. When we're rookies, most beginners walk into a home and unintentionally create uncertainty because the homeowner doesn't know what's about to happen, how long it's going to take, whether they're going to be pressured, what they're being pulled into. Uncertainty creates tension. Clarity creates cooperation. So a shared plan turns the appointment into something you're doing with the homeowner, not to the homeowner. So this is the very first step in understanding the human. And so so I'm going to give you some super easy word tracks. So here's the exact line you're going to use to open the agenda. And so it sounds like this. So I'd like to go over a quick plan for our time today. Okay? That's it. I'd like to go over a quick plan for our time today. Okay? And then you wait. This is not a rhetorical question. In sales, there is no such thing as a rhetorical question. If you ask a question, wait for an answer. So no rhetorical questions, no assumptions, and no pushing ahead. Wait for their yes. That is what creates the shared path together. That's how they start co-creating this project with you. That single moment will set the tone for the entire appointment. So I'd like to go over a quick plan for our time today, okay? Now notice how I said that. That's really important. So in fact, we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. So once they say yes, here's your next line. And remember, every word matters. So this is a simple one, but if you get this word for word with the right pacing, it's going to dramatically change your results. So great. They say yes, so go great. Here's what we'll do. We can start with what's important to you. Then I'll take a look at the home. And after that, we'll walk through the options that make the most sense. Sound good? So here's why this works. Here's what we will do. This is the co-creation part. So we're using we language because we're doing it together. Next is the human part. Start with what's important to you. That puts the human first. Third is take a look at the home. Of course, problem second, and then walk through the options, solutions last. Sound good? This is not rhetorical. We're getting real permission here. This one agenda line is basically close it now philosophy in under 10 seconds. And so that is a nutshell of the last 7 years of what I've been doing here and training this. So now let's talk about the tone and delivery because it's important here. Your tone should communicate, of course, calm, confidence, ease, presence, professional leadership. If you rush it, you sound nervous. If you speed through it, it sounds rehearsed. If you say it casually and naturally, it sounds like leadership. So one of the things that I want you to do every single, and I do this, everybody I know who is next level does this, and I highly recommend, especially if you're a beginner, make this a part of the practice every single time you go to a home. But right as you get up to the door, before you knock, stop, count to 3, take a deep breath, and relax your shoulders. That reminds yourself to slow down. It's not rushed. You're not in a hurry. Don't be nervous. And so that's the tone that you want to deliver everything with, because the more calm and confident and conversational you are, you're leading them in the conversation. Now, here's why this step comes before everything else. Discovery works better when there is a shared plan, when there's a plan together. Asking questions work better when there's a shared plan. Presenting options works better when there's a shared plan. A shared plan neutralizes anxiety and confusion, which are the two biggest blockers for beginners, anxiety and confusion. And it positions you as the guide without being pushy. And so this is the entrance into, of course, becoming someone worth buying from. So I'm going to say the statement again because this has to become your mantra. My job is to understand the human first, the problem second, and the solution last. This agenda, this mantra this is the mechanism that's going to let it happen. Because without clarity, you can't understand the human. Without permission, you can't ask real questions. And without the co-creation part, you can't present meaningful solutions to them. And notice I said meaningful. Everybody can walk into a house and find a million things that's wrong with the house, with whatever it is that you do. If it's heating and air, if it's plumbing, if it's electrical, if it's garage doors, windows, roofing, it doesn't matter. There's always 1,000 things, insulation. There's 1,000 things you can find that are wrong or not up to code. But if it's not meaningful to them, remember, the house doesn't write the check. People write the check. People pay for the project, and they only pay for things that are important to them. So that's why this is so important to have this conversation first and understand what's going on with the person, with the human, and then creating the shared plan together. Now they start to co-create this with you. So what happens a lot of times with beginners as well is, we often feel nervous because they think a lot of times you just think you need to know everything. I can't tell you the hundreds of people I've trained that said, man, I just don't, I've got to learn more. I feel like I don't know it all yet. It's okay. Your job is not to have all the answers. Your job is to create a space where real conversations can happen. A simple shared plan will do that. You don't need decades of experience. You don't need perfect scripts. You just need to guide the homeowner with clarity and confidence. This is step one, right? So you've got to get this down. And the cool thing is this takes the pressure off. You don't have to learn all the things first. You can just have a real natural organic conversation with including a couple of these two things so far, and it's going to get off to a dramatically better start, I could guarantee, than how most of you are probably starting your appointments. So let's recap real quick. We've got today we've covered why a shared plan is the first step in any sales conversation, the permission phrase that opens the appointment, the co-creation agenda script, the tone that makes it effective, how this connects to human, problem, solution, order, and how, especially as beginners, how you can use this to immediately feel more confident, because confidence is everything. Sales is the transfer of enthusiasm. So I'm going to recap those word tracks with you all together. That way you hear them all again one more time, and then it'll put back into perspective here for you. So the first one is, I'd like to go over a quick plan for our time today. Okay. Make it a question. Wait for the answer. Wait for the yes. And then the next line is, great. Here's what we'll do. We can start with what's important to you. Then I'll take a look at the home, and after that, we'll walk through the options that make the most sense. Sound good? And then wait, and again, wait for another answer. And so those are the three things. And so I really want you to work on those this week. This is your homework. And so, but always remember this mantra. Even if you forget those two lines, remember the mantra. My job is to understand the human first, the problem second, and the solution last. You cannot build solutions if you don't know the concerns of the human and what the problem is in the home. So then you marry those two things together and then build your solutions around that. Don't build your solutions around just what you find that's broken in the house, because they may or may not care. So my job is to understand the human first, the problem second, and the solution last. So if this episode helped you, share it with someone new to sales, especially someone that it needs a clean, simple place to start. And make sure you subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe as well, because you don't want to miss episode 2, which is coming next week, which is going to be Curiosity First. Why great salespeople ask before they answer. So we're going to really dive into how to be more curious and how to ask better questions. So thank you for listening today. I know that this is I'm really excited about this series. Like I said, this is a foundational part of where you get started. This will change all of the conversations. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to learn it all first. Just have natural conversations and ask better questions, and the yeses will start to appear more for you. So, a couple quick announcements, super quick, before we sign off here. One is, if you want to know about what the on-site training for your company looks like with Close It Now, pop me a message. You can email me, sam@closeitnow.net. You can go join our Facebook group. I have restarted the free training Fridays. So every week I put a post in the Close It Now Facebook group of what are you struggling with? What are your friction points? What topics do you want me to cover for the week? And then I'll usually pick one or two of those and cover those in the live session that I do 10 a.m. Friday mornings, Central Standard Time, inside the Facebook group. Cool part about it being live is in real time, you can ask questions and I'll answer them directly that you ask during the live as well. So we can have a conversation there. So do that. Leave me a review. And everybody, this episode is super close to Christmas. So I want every single one of you to have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy, what are all the others? Kwanzaa, just all other things, whatever you are, whoever you are, I wish you happy holidays. And I am so grateful for every single one of you that listen to this podcast. You have helped grow this to over 70 countries. And I'm grateful for every single one of you that take time out of your day to hit play, to better yourself, to learn, to grow, and working to become someone worth buying